So I'm picking up from yesterday, everyone, and we were talking about this Cotter's 8-step model. Yeah, it's very important model. Please pay attention. Cotter's 8-step model. Yeah, so Cotter is saying that whenever you are trying to create any type of change, if you follow these 8 steps, it is going to help you in implementing that change. Yeah, any type of change. Yeah, broadly speaking. So first step, Cotter is saying that establish a sense of urgency. Ensure that everyone understand that this step which you are trying to implement, this change which you are trying to implement, is something urgent. You cannot delay this thing. This has to be done right now, right away. This is important. It's not something on your to-do list. This needs to be done right away. So that is the first step, according to Cotter. Then after that, he's saying form a powerful guiding coalition. Yeah, a group of people, coalition. Yeah, who is going to help you, who is going to support you, who is going to guide the process of change when the resistance is going to come, when difficulties are going to come, when people will be demotivated, all of those things. So a powerful guiding coalition, according to Cotter, is the second thing you would want to do. And then create a vision. That's, he thinks, very important. Vision. Where do we want to go? What is the end goal? Keep reminding that vision, that purpose to everyone, that okay, we are going through this hardship, we are going through this difficult time, nothing to really worry about. uh, Let me take a moment here. Mariana was doing her reflection, and she said in her reflection, this too shall pass. Yeah, this too shall pass. I want to reflect on that a little bit. This too shall pass. Yeah, this too shall pass. It has nothing to do with Cotter's model. It's just a thought which came in my mind. So, some time ago, I was driving out of town, and usually my tire never gets flat or anything. Never. Uh, Never. I don't remember changing my tire myself or anything. Thanks to God, of course. No credit. I'm not taking any credit. It's just bad things generally don't happen to me. Yeah. So it just the tire. This was a different car I was driving. It had, I think, different type of tire. So the wires came out of it or something happened, and I was not, of course, happy about it. I was not used to those type of problems in my life. So I said, okay, I found a place. I stopped my car there, and I asked the guy to change the tire for me, and he was kind enough. There were other people also, and there were two ladies before me, and they were getting their tire changed. And usually I'm happy about in my life, and I'm smiling and all of those things. But at that time, I was not really happy because of the tire, and what is this, and I would have to change the tire, and all of those things were going in my mind. And so this was a change for me. Change, not used to happening those things, and that kind of frustrated me. And I'm standing there, and there is no smile on my face, and I'm just thinking, what is this? Why this happened? Yeah. So that lady was talking with her friend, and she said they also had the same problem, change of tire. And she said to her that this too shall pass. Guys, she just said this line one time, this too shall pass. How much? In 1 second? This too shall pass. 2 seconds? And suddenly I started smiling. Suddenly, right away, my mental state changed, everything changed. I said, yes, this too shall pass. In half an hour I will be out of here. What a powerful line it is. Yeah. So your mindset. So from there, I'm trying to share with you that when some difficult time is there, although I gave you a small tire problem, no big deal, but anything in life, you have some trouble, some difficulty. I think this is a very powerful line. You just say, this too shall pass. Yeah. It kind of calms you down, and it impacted me in a big way. So when Mariana was doing her reflection, she just wrote this line. So this came in my mind right away at that time. So please think about this whenever difficulties and those things. I don't know what are, I'm sure maybe some things are not the way in your life how you would want them to be. So just tell yourself, this too shall pass. Yeah. Okay, create a vision. Yeah, vision. Where you want to go, what is the ambition? Remind other people that why we are doing this struggle, all of that. Communicate again and again and again. I was listening to these guys, and they were saying that there is a problem over communication, like over communication. You are communicating over. You are telling the same thing again and again to the people, and it is a fact that when the same thing is being told again and again, and especially if you don't enjoy that thing, then you are going to get frustrated. You are not going to like it. You are going to say, maybe if the email, same type of email is coming from some people at work, then after a while you stop reading those emails because you understand that this is not something which is useful to you. But still, over communication is better than under communication. Yeah? Over communication is better than under communication, because with under communication people would not know what is required. Link it with the previous discussions. 3 days, we had good 3 days so far. Yeah. So maybe communicate, and communicate in the way which they will understand. Some people want to talk face to face, some people on the phone, some people by chat, some people by calling them in their office, some people by email. You have to understand what is it which resonates with them, not with you. Yeah. In which the environment and all of that communication, to think about that. Empower others to act on the vision. Yeah. Delegate some stuff, give them some empowerment, enrichment, job empowerment. Yeah, you have heard these type of terms. Give them a sense of belonging, that okay, if some problem, you can solve it yourself. You don't have to maybe come and ask me all the time. Yeah, you are managing some change. For example, Amazon is a company which gives their front desk people who take complaints from the clients a reasonable amount of empowerment. Like if it is a problem which you think you can solve on the spot, do it. No problem. Do it. Do it for the people. You don't have to necessarily come to the manager and take their permission. And they have set the guidelines that these are the problems for which you can take the initiative yourself. So that type of empowerment. Plan for and create short-term wins. Yeah, you guys were speaking about this yesterday. I remember one friend was saying that celebrate your little successes. Yes, yeah. So you do that. Consolidate improvements and produce still more change. Institutionalize new approaches, which is again coming from the models, which is like you old status quo, form new habits, and then start new beginning. For example, that three-step model we were looking at: unfreeze, form new habits, refreeze. Yeah. So refreeze or institutionalize new approaches in the culture of the organization. All of those things. Yeah. So in a nutshell, this is what that model is. But again, I encourage you to go to the website, click lectures, go all the way down, listen to that, please. I just did not want to make that as an assignment, as I was thinking yesterday, because that's not, I think, I would like to do. But it is important. It's very important, and you will also, I think, you should also experience a little type of lecture format also. Yes, yes, my friend Luke, please go ahead.
Yeah, I used to be an intern at a software company, and they had a lot of big software solutions, but now they wanted to make a change that all these software will be on the cloud, and they want to make an EOS platform for that. So that's of course a big infrastructural change, and it will also take more than a year to implement all of that. So first they made clear why they would do it, because there would be rival companies that would be maybe earlier, and of course when you go in the cloud, it's a better way, I would say a more convenient way to give your products to clients, and also of course more scalable, and it's better for the cost affordable. So they made a concrete plan on how to do it, and the entire wall was filled with post-its on what should be done. So it was really concrete, and there were a couple of people that were be like the managers, and they were a little bit in charge. So they would know the most of all the changes that would have been done. And every Friday, there was a discussion on what the progress was, and what were the goals that were achieved. So I think that's also very similar to the Cotter that we discussed earlier. And yeah, every week you could also ask some questions, so you will be more online or in line with everything that you know about the project. So everybody has the same, everybody knows enough to continue their task. So I think that's also really much similar to the Cotter. And
can you please? Yes, please go
sorry?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, well, I saw that I just checked on their website, and apparently they have finished the total progress. So apparently they did it. A large task. They still do a lot of things, but apparently they made it. So I think thanks to Cotter.
That's great. Great point. Great point. Can you tell us, please, what were the major problems you guys might have faced during all the stuff?
Oh, I was just an intern, but I was part of the process as well. So yeah, they had the discussions with the whole company. So every employee was there. Everybody knew about the progress, and so it was really transparent. Everybody know exactly at which stage we were, what should be done. Yeah, it was really concrete.
Very
But
interesting. Very
I
interesting.
don't I don't know about the problems they'd faced. Probably a lot of problems.
Now that's okay. That's okay. But at least you saw that how the things were being worked from an outsider also. And thanks for sharing the example. We enjoyed it. Like whole company was involved. At least everyone was
Yeah,
participating in it.
absolutely,
Everyone was taking ownership of what is happening. If something is going
definitely.
wrong, then people are taking initiative. Like so, in the decision making also, they might have involved the important key stakeholders, take their ideas, incorporated them. So it is a leadership must be very good. The type of leaders
Yeah.
you would have who were. Tell us something about the leadership, the role of leadership. What did you saw from an outsider as an intern? What were the main characteristics of leaders? What were they? They were like they were talkative, they were administrative, they were happy-go-lucky, they were what were their? How did you
Well,
saw them?
they were very open and transparent about how it went, and also yeah, people could always just ask for things, and it was just okay when you asked, for example, something twice or something that was asked the week before. It was just really yeah, just to make sure that everybody could understand what we were doing, even though there were people that were non-programmers or something. Like everybody just had to know what's going on in the company, and everybody has to know that there was a big change about to happen that could be leading and also result in a pro against the rival companies.
Very
So
good, very
everybody
good.
understood
Openness.
why we would do this, and everybody understood that it was for the long term, especially because of course in the short term it looks like a lot of problems, but on the long term, because it's a company that still wants to grow and expand and still wants to beat out the rival companies, this was needed.
Mhm. Very interesting, very interesting. Our friend is saying why we are, they were clear about the why part, why we are doing it.
Hmm.
So those things are clarity. So you can link it with the things which we have been saying in the last 3 days, like the openness, that thing our friend is highlighting, that they were open to if some favor is something is required, they were willing to give support mechanism. All of those things were there. And then as our friend is saying that the project did see a reasonable amount of success. It is maybe implemented now, and of course there will be some problems every now and then, but you have to stay involved with the project and so on. Today I'm going to discuss, I think, the role of leadership. I think very important, and try to make some conclusions on how the leaders should act, behave, and all of those things. But before that, I want to do a little bit of an exercise of organizational culture, and take you through some notes also. So first we're going to look at organizational culture or something, and then wind up from yesterday's discussion, and then we'll continue with leadership. Yes, Melissa, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just wanna uh, add my thought about how should be a leader as a characteristic. Is he or she should be open to the new ideas or not? Just a second. And I thought that I think the most important thing is openness to change, because as you know, I'm a senior of industrial engineering student, and I think that the openness to change is very important. If my product is not selling more, selling anymore, I should change my product through the feedback that I take to my customers' expectations, according to their expectations. I think it's really unnecessary to insist that some idea, even though my company is seem very conventional, but I can change this situation with my innovative ideas. The firm in the firm that I did my first internship, the project manager said me that we are a bit conventional firm, but I offer my manager to doing a project which is related to the innovative public transportation vehicle, which is related to digitalization and 100% electrical. And when I present it to the managers, they really like it. The thing that I want to say, we can change actually sometimes the situation with our ideas.
Interesting,
That's
interesting,
all.
interesting points. Interesting points. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. I'm going to show you a little clip, which usually I show at the start of the week, or when I'm starting the engagement, but you can watch it even now.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business models. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, relate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen, the future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Yeah, very interesting clip, and you can link it with the points Melissa was making. Like, she was saying, should we open to new ideas? How should leaders think about new ideas, innovation? Those type of comments Melissa was making in her commentary just before we played this clip. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, when I was listening this, then I remember because we didn't know that we will go through this kind of situation, but we started in Finland when I was studying. Back in 2013, and teachers, they send the mail that okay, we are doing one of the pilot project that we want to do some courses online, online classroom. And if you are interested, then you can participate. And it was the first pilot project. I know we were the part of that project, and it was 2013, and today now it's 2020, and we were doing it was in the evening an online session, some courses, and it was not compulsory. People were given a choice that if they want, then they can turn on their camera, and but most of the time only teachers hit on, and in the beginning 1 or 2%, and later they did not. But that core, and it was a different kind of software. I think it is some kind of private, from the private company, or different kind of software, and it was just we just want to see whether it works or not. And one thing that I like about the Finland is that they just want to do something new, and they just want to see how it goes. They are and they are so open for the changes, and because of that, we did it. And even if people did not turn on their camera, and we have to listen and then teacher used to give us some role, and we have to prepare it for that, and everybody has to discuss over to have the conversation, so that it would be more engaging than everybody will just speak, and nobody just teacher is just speaking, and people are just listening. So they want to be more interactive. And it was such a nice people were from everywhere around the world, from other countries, and it was, for me, it was a nice experience. And I thought it is not a bad idea. Suppose in future, okay, here in suppose from my country in Nepal, they don't know what is the teaching, how teachers teach, and like what also what kinds of the course materials and what is the teaching style, and they don't need to come here in Finland and experience that, and they can do it online. But now, because of the COVID situation, like Finland, it was preparing from the very beginning like that, and for them it's so easy, like, and they easily quickly get into it. And I think in my country, like they have to stop the exams and everything, like it is not prepared. There is no technology, and people were not so open to changes also. Now Finland, there is no any changes, and in practically, and some people are even enjoying, and they are saying that it's becoming more productive when you are working from home. And for students it's not so good, because you want to see your friends and everybody, but still, life has not stopped for us. So I think if we are open and ready for the changes and try out something new, then you never know what will happen in the future, and you can easily get adapted to that. And
Yes, thank you very
another
much.
example,
Yes, please. Yeah, please.
another example is Nokia, when they were so like a leader for the mobile phones, and when they were not ready for the smartphone, and just because of one single mistake, and they could not, their whole market went down and they could not lead the in the mobile market. So another company take over. So if we don't take the changes, like, or if we don't want to be a part of changes, then there is a huge loss that one has, as a company, they have to suffer.
Very, very interesting. Thanks for pointing these things. Very useful for our session. Like, our friend is talking about, foresee what changes can happen, and then prepare yourself that if those changes happen, you are a little bit more prepared, more ready than others. And personally speaking, I can relate with this, because before COVID-19, 2 3 years before, from before that time, from 2017, I think I was interested in this online format. Although in my university there's nothing online, but I was preparing for that type of, if I have to engage online, how would I do it? Take some courses, do this, do that, try out things. And then when COVID came, for me it was very easy to transition. Like, I remember that university told us on maybe on Wednesday that there will be no face-to-face classes and we are going on break. And in next 2 days I had my class. I had set up everything online, engagement, everything, and I set up my class. But the university gave one month off to the students, and everything was off for 1 month. So they gave that 1 month to everyone to prepare for online meetings, online teaching, whatever you want to call it. But for me, I was able to do it in 2 days, 2.5 days. I was able to transition and guide my class that this is how I'm going to do that. Why that happened? Because I was already thinking about these things 2 3 years, 2.5 years before COVID came. That we should. Although there was no opportunity of online anything for me at least, but I was just interested that one should think about this. There's the same thing which Lakshmi is talking about, like foresee what changes can happen in your industry, foresee that what type of skills you would be required. You just saw a very nice clip. And then start preparing yourself, because it takes time to prepare. It takes a little bit time to learn skills and all of those things. So very good, very interesting. Yes, Chan, Hong Kong, please go ahead.
Oh yeah, I would like to share about something difference on change between like Asian culture and Western culture, because I recall one of the culture aspect is called like the uncertainty avoidance, which means like people the extent of people to avoid changes in order to avoid any uncertainty in the future, because like whenever there's a change, there will be some uncertainty, because like we don't know what will be the consequence or what will be the result. So but in different cultures, for example, for Asian and for Western, I think Asian generally have a higher level of uncertainty avoidance, which means that they tend to be more conservative than Western country than Western. That I mean, like in people in the US or in the Europe. So I think this can be explained by a very technology advancement data back in the past about like going on to the moon, because like as we all know that like for the US and the Russians, they are one of the first countries that able to develop the technology in order to reach out of the earth and reach the moon. But like for Asian countries, they are years their technology can be developed only years later than US and also Russia. So I think somehow this is because people with the Asian mindset, they tend to not to step a step front in order to like try something that could be possible, and they perhaps they have to wait for some statistics to prove that okay, this is workable, this can be worked out, and they will take the step in order to like further investigate into the issue. So I think this might explain why currently most of the latest technology is developed outside Asian countries.
Okay, interesting points. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I want to take you through some sections in the book. Cultural change chapter. I'm looking at changes in culture, and these guidelines I found very interesting, so I thought we should go through them together very quickly. So please pay attention. Guidelines for achieving successful cultural change, and why it is important to understand, because culture is a big thing. Anything which is happening in the organization or at home, or what is culture? Culture is the way you do the things. Yeah. So it is very important to understand how the culture is going to take the changes. That is why we are going to look at some of the guidelines, and hopefully they are going to help us. So guidelines for achieving successful cultural changes. If you want to bring any change in the culture, what are some of the things you should pay attention to? Of course, there are many things, because culture is a broad topic, but still in the book they have highlighted some things which we are going to go through. Always link to organizations, vision, mission, and objectives. That what they are trying to say, that the vision of the organization, a mission, objective, purpose, goal, these things should be very clear. Only then you can link with that. Let's go through this. For example, look at the highlighted section. People need to be convinced by a compelling vision rather than compelled in a coercive way. And yesterday you guys were, we were having a little bit discussion that should the change be forced, and many friends did not like that idea, and you also expressed that in your reflections. They need to see the overwhelming logic of the proposed change. What is the logic behind that? The change which is being proposed, what is the logic? What is the reason? Why should we do that? Yeah. The more people are drawn towards the vision, the better. Whatever the vision of your company is, whatever the vision you hold for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your community, um, it is very important that there is a link there between the people and the vision. Yeah. So that is number one. Yeah. Always link these things together. Create a sense of urgency. Yeah, now you can this is going to tell you how important Cotter's model is in change, because many models and theories have taken that idea, and it came from Cotter, that it's important to create that urgency. And you have seen in your life also that the things which we put on back burner, and we say okay, we will do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow we say okay, we will do it tomorrow, okay, I'll do it over the weekend, okay, I will do it okay, on the holidays, okay. So that keeps on delaying. So that urgency is important if you want to create cultural change. Continually reinforce the need to change. Continuously, yeah, continually reinforce by communication, by your actions, all of those things. Attend to shareholders' issues, people who are involved in the process, from whatever angle, they would have some type of issues. Deal with them. Try to listen to them. Even if you cannot solve them, listening sometimes is important. And make connections with what friends have been saying today and the last 3 days. For example, Luke said a while ago that the leadership style there, the example he gave is that if people would want some type of, some favor or they want some help, the leaders are always trying to facilitate them. So what is that? Attending to stakeholders issues. um, Organizations' future success is dependent on engaging staff to enter into new way of doing things. Yeah. Next one. Remember that how is as important as the what. How and what. What change is being asked or required, and how we are going to do that. It's both things are important. And just to clarify, look at this. If you say one thing but do another, then you might as well give up now. Yeah. So your thought, your what you say and what your actions, they should complement each other. Yeah, your what you say and what you preach and what what you are, what you do, your actions and preaching. Um, I was looking at this documentary, and they were saying that the children don't listen to what you are saying. Children look at your actions and then try to copy your action as growing up. And so the environment in which they are, it is not like parents say, oh, don't lie, don't lie, don't lie, don't lie, lying is bad. uh, Child is just listening that, not going to not lie. Because if the parent says that don't lie, but when father's friend come on the door and he asks for father and the child opens the door, and okay, child says, okay, let me go inside and see if dad is there or not. He comes in the home and he sees dad, and tell dad that, okay, your friend is outside. And dad says, no, no, don't tell him I am inside, tell him that I am not at home. So the child will go out and tell that friend that daddy is not at home. But now, because of this action, the child is going to maybe okay with lying. We don't know if the child will lie or not. There are many other things involved in this, but the child is looking at what the action was, not just the speech. Same is for other people. That is where, there is a concept in leadership. I'm sure you have heard it: leadership by action. Yeah. The leader leading by example. Yeah, leader is leading by example, leadership by action, those type of terminologies. Yeah. Build on the old and step into the new. That is very important. Build on the new, because think about it, change is a very, big thing there. Yeah, change. So when you are trying to incorporate any type of change in culture, for example, build on the old. For example, in the old culture, there must be some things which you like. It is not that you don't like everything. There must be one or two things which you like. Same thing in a person. You are trying to change some person. There must be some things which you like. So first you need to encourage them, appreciate those things, say, okay, in the culture, the way, these are the things which we have been doing in the past. And we will continue doing those things as best practices in the future also. So you are not discarding everything, because then it's going to be very challenging. Like if you just discard everything, like you say, well, everything was wrong. No, it's always something. Even in the very bad people, there is always one thing which is good. There is always some good in anything. As a matter of fact, spiritual people say that. So you need to think on that. Build on the old and step into new. Yeah. Generate enabling mechanism. Yeah. For example, reward systems. Yeah, look at this. reward systems and planning and performance management system that support the objective and preferred behaviors of the new culture. Yeah. And yesterday I think Mariana was talking about these type of things like documentation, legal requirement, technical requirement, all those things should be, compliance. She was talking about all those things are. All those things are enabling mechanism, things which are helping you to create the change in the culture. Act as role models. I think this is very important. You want someone to change, you want to exhibit those things, those behaviors which you are maybe trying to bring in other people. Create a community of focused and flexible leaders. So think about this: focused and flexible. So there is a dilemma in this maybe. Yeah. So you are focused. If you are focused, how to be flexible? And if you are flexible, how to be focused? Yeah. So think about these things. Yeah. Just look at this one, for example. We can look at couple of lines here. On the one hand, many people want clear, confident, and focused leadership during periods of change. Clear, confident, and focused. But on the other hand, people also want leaders who will reflect upon what is happening on the ground and adjust their plans accordingly. Flexibility. Again, I think Mariana was commenting in one of the days. I think that your plan should be a little bit flexibility needs to be there also. When we were commenting on her pointers, we were saying these type of things. You cannot make a full final plan at the initial stage of change. And if you are showing to if you are going to show that type of rigid behavior, then the chances of the effort, change effort, that it will fail, the chances are very, very high. And even if you will succeed, the people are going to resent you. Yeah. Insist on collective ownership of the changes. Yeah. Collective ownership. Luke's example, you can recall that. He was talking about the same thing. Everyone was involved on the plant. That is what he was saying. Yeah. Sense of belonging, ownership, purpose is same, objective is same. Yeah. These things are very important overall. Yeah. So these are some of the things which I wanted to say about culture. Now we would like to do a little bit of exercise and maybe a little bit of a conversation on this video. Please pay attention to this video. Try to find what are the problems, what were the tensions. If you were the guy, how would you solve the problem? If you were the girl, how you would solve the problem, what could be done differently, all those type of things. Yes. So it's a short clip, so please pay attention and enjoy. Yes, what do you think is happening in the clip? What do you think the girl could have done differently? What do you think the man might have done differently? What is the issue? Essentially, it is an organizational setting. There is a older man who has 20 years of experience of working there. He apparently has some files in his office. The way he keeps things, he's not a technology guy maybe, so he keeps his files handy there in the office, and he was maybe given a notice that remove your files and all of those things to some other place. He did not do it because he's 20 years of work experience. Everyone knows him. He says maybe that order is not for him. And then one day he comes there and then he sees his files are removed, are not there. He is very angry, upset. He goes to the office of a person who just joined 6 months ago, and it is a female and it is younger. She's younger. And he tells her whatever he needs to tell her, and she tells him whatever needs to be told, and all of those things. Yes. these things happen in the organization. So what we would like to talk about, that if you were the guy, what could you do differently? If you were the girl, what she could do differently? Are there any other ways to deal with this type of change? What was the problem? What were the issues? Anything you want to talk about in the clip would be fine. I hope you can use the voice and video if possible. Yes, please go ahead.
Like for example, if I was the boy, then I would like politely ask and listen to her, and like a professional communication should be there. Like should not disrespect to the woman, and communication goes both ways. So you have to give her some pause to listen from her, and realize like maybe there is a mistake in my part also. So this kind of things. And if I was the girl, I would like because the man is older, and he has like uh, uh, experience, and I should first and there is also generation gaps also. So I should first listen to them, and try to explain him that that a good way, that in this way we can go very good. Like I think the miscommunication is the most important issue was there. So I would try to avoid that.
Miscommunication. Okay. What else? Anyone else? What was the problem? What was the issue? How would you solve it differently? Anything?
Hello.
Yes, Timo, please go ahead.
I think that there's a big problem in the attitude of the man, that he has established his position there, and he has certain, let's say, rights that he actually doesn't have necessarily the rights, but he has been in that position for a long time, so he feels like a new person couldn't say any, like couldn't boss him around or do changes without his permission. But then yeah, he would need to do some self-reflection, of course. But then the woman, the new person, maybe she could also see that what I feel like many new managers do, that they have to show around that, okay, I'm now the boss, I can do whatever I want to do and how I want to do it. So maybe she would also need to consider that, okay, there are these people here who have been a long time, they're used to doing this way, so we shouldn't make that radical changes so quickly, that give people time to get used to the idea and get used to the change that's coming.
But in the clip, they did say that when the guy was talking, the girl did say that I gave you a lot of time to move these things, and you did not, so we had to move them. He made this comment.
Well, yeah,
also.
okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Then
So
it's
quite,
it's more about the attitude of the man, but yeah.
Attitude of the man. Okay, so I'm going to play the remaining part of the clip. Couple of more seconds are left. I deliberately stopped it there. So let me show you what is the background, a little background of this thing. Because you guys are talking about attitude of the man, and Abu also was kind of a little bit hard on the man. And so let's see. There's what is. Let's complete the. Yeah, think about it now. The friend of the guy asked him that, why don't you take her, just cool off the bad feelings, bad sentiment. So he says that I did 2 weeks ago. I asked her to, meet on the bar, and I was waiting there, and you saw that the girl came late. And how late was she? She came 1 hour 15 minutes. Just imagine yourself, put yourself in the position waiting for someone for 1 hour and 15 minutes, something like that. And then they talk about this thing there, that the filing system, and the guy explains that I can find the file easily, I know where everything is. But she says that we are going to make a centralized filing system on floor 2 and so on. And you saw the clip. So what do you think? What do you think? What is the problem? How it could be solved? What are the issues? Anything you can say that would be nice. Yes, Arto, I think you are.
Yeah, so just to go back to before we saw the clip, I think we could tie this back to a few days ago when we saw the whole Resistance to Change video. And
Yeah.
when he was talking about, well, what it first seemed like was what the lady was doing was when you know, what the video was suggesting, and some people are just going to resist, so you just blow past them and go ahead without them. And you know, how he was saying that, or yeah, he was saying that there could be people that cause mischief, and you know, they might agree with things. So I guess watching the clip now, you know, he agrees with, oh yeah, this new filing system's fine, and then later, once it actually comes to fruition, he starts complaining again. So I guess it shows kind of a bit of that as well.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. So what is the solution, guys? How to solve these type of issues when they happen in workplace, in the organizational setting, when, you know, people are telling you to do something, and then you, because you have experience and you have your own way of doing things, status quo, old habits, it's very hard to kill them and move on. So how to, anything you can say on this, please go ahead. Yes, Doim.
Oh, you saw I had unmuted myself.
My eyes are always on you, you know that.
There was another element I noticed there. At the second half of the video, when you played it the second time, there was first the fact that she was late, that he couldn't have felt good about that.
Of course.
And it certainly didn't help that when he voiced his concerns about the new system,
Yes.
at that point, he wasn't adamantly against the new system, but he was trying to communicate his concerns.
Yes, yes.
And she seemed dismissive about it. That couldn't have helped the situation. And I suspect that is what, well, in the real world, that would just make things worse. And let's not forget that he came there with good intentions. Well, mostly good intentions. And he was slighted. She came late. She was not apologetic about it, not really. And then she was dismissive about his concerns. So for someone that is already has concerns about the change you want to make, dismissing his concerns will only make things worse. That just makes it harder to make the changes, and would make people who are averse to change even more adamant against the change.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
How to solve it? I don't know. Well, she appealed to his better nature. You know, first of all, stop giving the guy attitude. There's already bad blood, and if they keep at it, it'll only get worse.
Yeah.
So something's got to give. I'm not going to say who, but someone's got to reach out. And considering, if we're being fair, the fact that he reached out to try to smooth things over, I think it would be fair to ask that the woman reach out too, meet him halfway, and maybe not be so dismissive about his concerns. And hear him out. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, you are thinking lovely. You have great mindset. Beautiful. Good to have you. Great. Thank you very much. Maybe, you know, in the organization there can be someone who is looking at this situation, and maybe they can mediate this type of situation. Maybe that is possible. But then the problem is that the girl is there only for 6 months, and she has full support from the top leadership, who has asked them to make the changes and make improvements, whatever needs to be done. But she is kind of maybe making her job difficult also in one way. But on the other side, if you look at it, that this is the nature of change, because when she's a young girl, She's a female, first of all, yeah. So then she's young. She does not have that much experience. She is new in the organization. So now to develop that leadership capacity, she needs to be more dictator type personality, strict. She need to show strictness, because sometimes people think that if they will be in a relaxed environment, and they will speak softly, and they will be like a little bit casual and that type of thing, other people will not respect them. And that happens sometimes. uh, so with that mindset also, maybe the girl is thinking that I need to be strict with these people, and otherwise how I am going to complete the task on time, because she's also answerable to someone, and she has deadlines to meet. So think about all these things which I am saying, and think about all the lovely pointers Dwayne has made, and try to form some type of solution in this. I think this is very important activity based on the things we have discussed in 3 days, based on the things try to find some balance. Yes, next one, please go ahead. Abu, Timo, other friends. What happened to other friends? Where are other friends? Please participate. Yes.
After watching the full video, I think for there is certainly so many things to do for the girls part, and I think to solve this problem, there is a few proposal I think I can put forward. For example, if we can do like some kind of pilot project, or not the all file should not put in central, but some file, and so that the other people get the
Very good.
experience how it's good go, and then maybe then
Excellent.
maybe those files are needed every day, or like every time, so we will not move those files, but certainly there's some file will move them, and will give the experience to the like other our old worker to that company. And another thing we should do, that we should explain them that if we move certain centrally, what will benefit will give us to us,
Mm.
and and then maybe they will appreciate the extra hard work to go there and find out the files.
Lovely, 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 beautiful. Loved your point, especially the first one. I think that is quite interesting. Like, don't put, you want to put files, do incremental. Talk with the guy, say, okay, we are going to move the files. They are not going to stay here. We are going to move the files. But are there any files which are very close to you, close to your heart? You want to keep them close to you? However, 5, 6, 10 files you want to keep, no problem. Rest of the files have to go. So, and after a period of time, these files, 10 files will also go. So maybe that's a very interesting. That's a little bit of a nothing. I don't think there will be any problem in that. Like, keep few files there. Very good point. Very good point. And if other friends see any problem with what we guys are discussing, or maybe they are looking at in a different way than Abu, or me also, because I think what Abu is saying, especially the first point or the points Dwayne made, I think they are quite solid points. But if you think differently, there is no problem. Then coming on the coming out and saying that you have a different way of thinking. That is perfectly fine. Yes, please, next one.
Yes, I was thinking that in the second part, when he heard about the plan, he looked very worried and even a little bit scared. So I think that I mean, this resisting to this change, it's actually coming from fear. He's fearing that he can't perform his job anymore well, and he fears that he will be obsolete. And so the solution, one of the solutions could be that explaining to him and reassuring him that he will learn the new method, and he will he can still work efficiently, and he can do his job. And I think the lady didn't notice the worry and didn't notice the fear of him, that he's fearing that he can't do his job anymore.
Beautiful, 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 Timo. Beautiful, beautiful point. Yeah, I think Timo used the word obsolete. So it can be the case that those files are not just his own files; they are departmental files. And then people are coming to him and they are saying, "Oh, do you have that file?" And he will give them the file. "Oh, where to find that file?" And he will give them the file. So his role is maybe, people come to him for file, for information, that type of thing. So now if it will be centralized, then it will be out of his control. Then his importance or significance, his job role might, so all those things Timo is reflecting on. Very good, beautiful. Next one.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, Tiffany, welcome.
Yes, I think that in the video at the second part, they're chatting in a bar or restaurant, which is outside the office, and I think that like this environment might cause the man think that the talk between the man and the lady is just a casual chatting, and the man might not be like too serious about this issue because when outside the office, the man might be like more relaxed and they won't think that it's talking about business. Yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe it would be better if like they could discuss the issue inside the office so that like they could think maybe rationally or they can like think carefully and to discuss on this issue because if when in a bar and they're like maybe drinking some beer or wine, they
Mhm.
might not think like consciously. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But like regarding what you said just now, like you said that the lady could be more strict on this issue. I
Mhm.
was thinking like would the men be more resistant to do the to do like to remove the fouling things because like he might think that the lady is less experienced than him then when she's more strict he would be like more resistant about this thing.
Mhm. Interesting points.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on the bar? Is it do you think that maybe that was not a good idea to meet in the bar for them? It's not, you are not liking that idea?
um I don't know, but because I think that like if like this change is an important issue to the company, then it should be a serious talking
Mhm.
rather than discussing in a bar, like at a
Mhm.
relaxed atmosphere.
Mhm.
Because if if the change is not that important or it's just maybe some casual chatting between employees then or colleagues, then I think it is okay to like have the meeting in the bar. But when like
Mhm.
talking about big projects or big changes, I think it's important for 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 the listener or the speaker to like
Mhm.
to show that everyone is understood about this issue and won't like miss out any point because when they first have the conflict or arguments at the first part, I think is it because the man didn't really listen carefully about this issue so that they might have like this conflict happens.
Mm, very interesting. And Tiffany, Lakshmi is also, you can look at in the chat. The lady said, "Is this the place where you do business meeting or something like that?" So maybe that's why lady did not give much importance and did not explain the matter. Well, interesting
Mm.
point you have raised. But I'm just thinking that maybe Tiffany, the guy liked the girl, and that is why he asked 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 her to come on to the bar and see how things go. But they did not work out that way. That is how men are. I think
Yeah, I
they
think yeah, I
try
think
to do
like the
those
man
things.
might be like focusing on the girl rather than the thing she talks, so that he missed the point, and the next day the girl like move out all his styles.
And now when he's angry, now it is the
Yeah.
frustration from the work and also the frustration of being rejected from the all right, good one, Tiffany. Thanks. Yes, next one, please. Interesting points.
Well, for me, that came to my mind was that, well, first of all, if they kind of met first time in the bar, obviously the first impression on both sides were quite bad, because
Mhm.
for her, it obviously seemed like she didn't appreciate that the meeting was in a bar because it was work meeting, especially if it was kind of like first time, then maybe the setting wasn't in her best kind of interest. And also she did ask quite like said, like, is this the place you're usually having work meetings? That in itself already tells her mindset like this might be wrong place for this. And then also, like said, she was late, which is always bad thing, but she was really late. And for being that late, in a kind of work setting, that's really disrespectful no matter what. So obviously they had both really bad first impression about who the other person is, and that first impression always kind of imprints to your brain, and it gives you the kind of aftertaste. Even if you start to get to know each other better, it kind of stays on quite long even. So obviously the discussion was that happened because of the files. That the first impression must have really had an impact on that discussion too, because they already thought not so positively about the person. So it just started to stack up on negativity. And because of the attitudes that they both had, that they felt like their opinion is right one, and they were unable to appreciate and listen the other person, then the kind of miscommunication and just lack of communication, it's not even just miscommunication like misplacing the communication on wrong things, it was just lack of it. It started to create more havoc in the workplace, and affecting also the other people, not just the work and themselves, but also other people, like was shown in the kind of other room. And it's just, if thinking in own workplace, if that something like that would happen, it would be really difficult to start fix, because there's the already established kind of attitudes towards the other
Very
people.
good, very good, very good, very good.
But I think always the basic thing where whenever, even if kindergarten have that kind of like little fights, then you would sit people down and talk like what was the problem, and maybe start going through like the emotions, like I felt like this because the files were missing and why they are important. And even though in workplace you sometimes like going forward making changes, they are must. So in this case, even though he was so fond of the files, then he must probably lose them by now. then it's just like going through, like he has valid reasons for feeling what he feels, and he should be he he should be heard, so that he will feel appreciated in his own workplace, and that he has valid reasons for actually feeling what he feels. So as maybe the both are obviously wrong in the situation. They're not exactly right or wrong, but both are dealing their emotions in the wrong, and if they are not actually willing to listen the other person and their opinions, this is not going to be the only conflict they're going to have. Doesn't apply, of course, only in workplace, but in this situation, if they're not listening, then also they probably cannot expect to be heard, because it always goes both ways. Like, if you are not willing to listen, why would anybody listen to you?
Absolutely. Good points all over. Very good, very good. Enjoyed it. Great job. Keep it up. And as our friend is saying that, you know, it's these type of situation is quite difficult to fix them now. Like, you know, there's real bad blood, so it's going to take. They have their strong personalities now. They are not like they have their. Even if they become friends in their heart, what they are going to think in their mind, what they are going to think, those are some of the things which needs to be thought about. Yes, next one. Abu, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Yes, I am like respectfully disagree with Stephanie's point. I have 2 points for that. First one is like, we know that fear comes from unknown. And in this video also, the man colleagues was advising him to talk with her over like casual meeting, so that their unknown or fear can goes away, or their misunderstanding can goes away. So I think in this way, that this kind of casual meeting in a bar or in a open area, that can be free up between their wall or between their misunderstanding, that can be solve some problem. So I think this was a good idea from the man, and because of also their colleague was advising, so this was not maybe uncommon in that company also. That another point can be there.
Yes, Abu, maybe you are saying this because you are a man yourself, so you would want to, you know, take the girl out and sit with the bar and see how it happens. But yes, both points are there out there. I'm just saying it casually. But yes, for some people they would think that going on bar at a neutral place, not at work, at a casual place, just sit there, hang out, see what happens. But on the other hand, the point Stephanie is making, and Dwayne also mentioned these things in the chat, you can look it up. They are valid points. Like, you know, it's if the change is so you know, so important and all of that, then maybe it needs to be discussed in a regular setting. So the points are there, but what Abu is saying is also it now depends on the people who are like, if I am the guy, let's say I am the guy, and if I were the guy in the clip, and the girl liked me, if I were the guy in the clip and the girl liked me, now everything would have changed. She would not have been late because she likes me. She would be looking forward to the meeting. When we were sitting, she would pay more attention to me. Likability, she likes me, all of those things. And not in any negative way, just like, you know, people like each other, like I like you guys, of course I'm thinking you guys like me also. Yeah, so that type of likability, and then maybe something would be. But there, you know, she had a um, different mindset there. The girl had a different mindset. She was like more focused on the job. She was there to make some changes, transformational changes in the company, and she was focused on that, and she was running up and down, and she had made her plans, and in that plan she was not looking anything. She was just going in and doing the action. Yeah, it's just like It's just like, you know, the killer has given a target that go in the house and kill the person, and in that whoever comes in, just shoot them. Your job is just to kill, just to destroy, that type of thing. So and many times when companies are going through some type of change, they ask, please pay attention, they ask someone from outside to come and manage this change. Why do they ask someone from the outside? Because the person who is coming from outside, they don't have any link, emotional link with the people, emotionally independent. They don't know them, they don't know their families, they don't know their situations, they are not their friends, nothing like that. So there is the outside person comes in the company, do the action, and then after that maybe that person will go out. So maybe the girl will just come in, make changes, all of those, and then go out. Maybe they are going to change the organization in the way that that guy, the older guy, is no more needed. And that was the fear factor which Dwayne was mentioning, and so on. There are quite a few things here which you should pay attention to. Like the outsider coming in and doing the action. Now you can link it with various things like um, um, the connections which we make in the companies and so on. But anyways, yes, Lakshmi, please go ahead. You have raised your hand.
I was just thinking, I think normally in workplace, you know, if it is women or ladies, you know, when they are saying something or doing, you know, guys are not so happy with it, then they take it more seriously and exaggerate the, you know, things. But if, the guy he was meeting, he had the first meeting in the bar, so if it was guy, you know, they would may have got drunk and, you know, chill out, or maybe if they were of the same age, then they might have discussed about the changes more better way. And maybe it was a lady and the setting was not right, and she thought it little bit, you know, in a different way. So she was not interested in the, you know, discussing. And I think she even did not look at him like straight in his eyes. She was just doing something else. So this already shows that she is not interested in discussion there. So, and the next day when the man said, oh, this woman, this, that, means he's trying to be a little bit like dominant, or not thinking, maybe if it was a guy, then he would may have been little bit like calm down. So I think they have to understand all the situation, like gender role and then settings, place, you know.
Yes, very good. Nice points. And the culture in the country, how they look at the gender in the country, those things you would want to reflect on. So the cultural understanding is going to be important. But all the points, I think, very good points you guys have made. Alonira, Dwayne, Tiffany, Lakshmi, Abu, everyone else, Timo, everyone. Very good, very good points. Arto made some comments, very good. And in the chat also, I'm seeing you guys are. So I think that is decent conversation on that. We can talk a little bit deeper on that also, but I think we have made reasonable points, and we are going to just continue to the next topic. And next thing which I would like to discuss is leadership, leading change. I think that might be the last or second last topic which we would like to discuss before we close tomorrow. Couple of clips I want to show you on leading change, and see how our conversation grows from there. Short clips, 3-4 short clips, and then some discussion, and then some readings I'm going to show you and make some pointers. Yeah, so please pay attention.
The success rate of major change initiatives is quite low. It's actually 54% of all change initiatives are successful. It's a very low number. The top reason change initiatives fail is something we call change fatigue.
means too many change initiatives without prioritization. The second reason is the CEO and his or her top team are just dictating what should change. What is this change program about? That actually doesn't work very often. The organization can become quite passive aggressive and wait until that CEO or executive team turns over before they actually enact the change. The biggest mistake change managers make is thinking that communications is the same as engagement. Very different, and both are incredibly important. The impact of poor organizational change management is actually threefold. First, the obvious one, you don't achieve the results, the transformation expected. Second, you've wasted a lot of resources, time, people, money. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, you're typically left with diminished morale. The other thing that change managers do is believe that communications, maybe some training, and changing reward systems is enough to move an organization to a new place, and it's not. Culture is critical to the success of change management programs. Most change programs deal very effectively with the formal aspects of an organization. This could be decision rights, process flows, structure, performance management system. But the definition of culture is how things get done around here. And that is as much influenced by the formal aspects as it is from how someone thinks, believes, acts, and feels. So you have to deal with the cultural aspect, or you won't impact the change in the way you want. Change managers should address culture by first focusing on the cultural strengths. What is in the culture that could actually help you feel proud about what you need to do in front of you? Use that. It's an asset in your organization that's rarely used. Second, you need to unleash the power of what we call special forces. They're the informal leaders in your organization. Sometimes they have a position in management, sometimes they don't. But those people in the organization that are trusted, that motivate, that instill pride in everything you do. Lastly, you need to create an environment in the organization that we call coherence. That means if you're any one employee in the organization, every signal that the organization sends you, whether it's from your manager, it's from an email, it's from a speech, it's from a town hall, create coherence. I get it. I know what I need to do to make this happen. And nobody's sending me a message that says don't do it that way. The ideal change management team should have multiple entities engaged. First and foremost is the CEO and his or her executive leadership team. They not only need to understand the change program, they need to start acting in different ways that's very visible to the rest of the organization. You also need the middle managers, respected middle managers. Again, showing that they themselves are going to do things differently. And that because before you can ask your team to do that, you need to be able to walk in their shoes. And it's critical to engage the front line. Team members, supervisors, typically the face to your customers, incredibly important that they're part of this change team. And lastly, and very importantly, are the culture and change experts in your organization. They need to be there to be the counselors, to ensure the program happens, and to give that expert advice.
Yes, very important pointers made in this clip as I was trying to reflect on that. They were saying that success rate is already very low of any type of change initiatives, and you can run some Google search on that and try to find that how many initiatives on change really become successful. Most of the times the change initiatives fail, and the reasons are obvious. Just reflect on our 3 days discussion and you will find out these are the things which companies are not doing. In this clip, they paid attention to change fatigue without prioritization. I think prioritization is something which is very important. When we were discussing fatigue, we did not use the word prioritization, but I saw it in the reflections. I think two people used the terminology prioritization. So that priority, urgency, that is, I think, important. And then dictating, it's something which we have said multiple times, but reinforcement is important. So if you are in the change situation and you will dictate the people, people are not going to first of all like it that they are being dictated. They won't. How you are going to create sense of belonging? How you are going to involve them in the purpose of the organization? Those things will be very hard. Engagement, they were talking about engagement with your people at different levels. They were talking about respected middle manager, respected front desk people. And you will see in many companies that the company is very good, organization is very good, but the front desk staff is like, they are not really happy with the job. They are not dealing the customers the way they maybe should. Company is good, but the front desk is not very good. Customer support is not very good many times. So why is that? These type of issues, involvement issues, engagement issues, morale goes down. I think that is very important point. And our friend Eleonora mentioned this, like the impact in the clip we saw. It was not just the guy and the girl on the outside environment. The people were not happy about it, of course. Another important point was that when the lunch came for the girl, the guy got it, paid for it, and threw it in the dustbin, in the garbage. Yeah. So now that girl is working hard and she's waiting for her lunch, and lunch is never going to come to her because it came and it went into the garbage. So he's making the job complicated for herself also. You need to think about that. Culture, think, believe, feel system. I think having key people before you are implementing any type of change, try to have in the organizational setting, especially business setting, try to find some key people, your trusted companions, people you can really depend on. In the management of change literature, when you will read the books and so on, you will find out there are certain terminologies used for those people. For example, change agents. Yeah, change agents. Run a little bit of a search on this. Change agents. Try to understand what they are, what are their role, why they are important in your own time. Yes. So they are going to be the agency for you in helping you bring the change. They are going to help you in bringing that. So you in other words, don't try to do it alone. Don't try to do it alone. You need to bring change. You need participation from so many other people. That is very, very important. Don't try to do everything on your own many times. But then there are different situations, so you will have to think about it. Couple of other I need to show you, and then collectively make your points, and then together you can make your commentary on the things we are trying to talk about. Yeah, so let's watch one more clip.
One of the things that's really important in extreme ownership is being able to check your ego, have the humility to admit and own those mistakes so that you can overcome them and accept constructive criticism.
Yeah, when I get asked, what makes somebody fail as a SEAL leader, 99.9% of the time, it doesn't have anything to do with their physical skills or their mental toughness. What it has to do with is the fact that the person is not humble enough to accept responsibility when things go wrong, accept that there might be better ways to do things, and they just have a closed mind. They can't change. And that's what makes a person fail as a leader. Obviously, ego is something that drives people. It's something that pushes people to do better. That competitive spirit, which in the SEAL teams we absolutely have with each other, whether we're going for a run or going on a pistol range, everything is competitive all the time. And that's ego driving you. You want to win. Where ego becomes the enemy is when their ego gets too big. And now they can't take criticism. They can't make any changes because they believe that their way of doing things is the best. And worse of all, they can't take ownership when mistakes happen. So instead, they just point the finger at other people, whether it's down the chain of command and say, well, my guys didn't execute it right, that's why we failed, or even up the chain of command. They'll say, oh, my boss didn't give me the support I needed, so it's their fault that I failed. With extreme ownership and that mentality, you get control of your ego and you say, listen, regardless of where that problem came from, it's my responsibility to get it solved. So if my guys didn't do what I wanted them to do down the chain of command, that means I didn't give them the guidance, the training, the parameters. They didn't understand the mission well enough. All those are my fault. And if I didn't get the support from up the chain of command, well, that's my fault as well. I didn't educate my boss. I didn't explain to them what we needed. I didn't influence them to make the right decisions to support what we were doing. Even the enemy, you know, I can't blame the enemy if we get caught off guard. That means we weren't ready enough.
What that actually does is allows you to not only own problems, but own solutions. No leader has it all figured out. And you can't do it all yourself. You got to rely on other people. So you got to ask for help. You got to empower the team, and you got to be able to accept constructive criticism. When things do go wrong, when bad things happen, you got to be able to take ownership of it. If you can't take ownership, you got to be weeded out of the organization.
Yeah, I think this one is quite a powerful clip. Ego and egos are in the leaders, and maybe you have seen or had those type of leaders who have ego problems. They cannot they cannot take any type of criticism. They cannot acknowledge that their way of thinking can be wrong too. It is a possibility that the way they are thinking about things is wrong. They are not humble in that sense. They think that they have all the knowledge. They cannot just change because of these ego problems. And another point which I really liked in this clip was they cannot take ownership. Like they were talking up the chain, their bosses, uh, the top management, and also the lower staff. Both, I think both is very important. And we always talk about the lower staff, people we manage, but very rarely we talk about our managers. That if we are suggesting an idea to the manager and the boss do not take that idea, maybe it is our fault, because maybe we did not explain the idea very clearly. We did not really communicate very clearly. Maybe we should have pitched the idea a little bit differently. So when the boss is saying no, you need to think about that it is maybe your problem. And here you are seeing on the slide, educate the boss, explain what is needed, and influence their decisions, yeah, in a nice way. Yeah, so how to do that now? Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more on that using some notes or something. I think I have some article on that, and so on. So these are some things which very important to uh, think about. Here it is. Yeah, this is a Harvard Business School article. Please make note of this. It is on your website also. So on my website, it is not on the OMA directly. It is on my website, but you know the link. So get the boss to buy in. Get the boss to buy in. Your leader. Get that person buy in. So this is, I think, very important article. Please find some time to read it. For example, they are saying tailor your pitch. They are going to give you some ideas how to tailor your pitch, frame the issues, um, and so on. So you will have to take time to read it and digest it and see what it is. So because it is very important to convince our management, people who manage for anything. You need support from the boss. So how to make that pitch, I think that is very important. And this type of literature, you should run searches yourself also, at how to how to do this type of thing in your own time again. Yes, Melissa, please go ahead. Say something.
So, as you mentioned, I think that the leader should embrace the change first to encourage the team that that he or she work with, because in such an environment, people can express their new ideas, and the maybe organization can improve. So the thing that I want to say is the leader should build that environment. This is the person who should do this, I think, the lead this environment. So I think that the leader should take this responsibility, the uh, the build for the build this environment, this flexible environment, because the environment is the really critical thing in a team. If in a more flexible environment, the team can do the more, how to say, the efficient work than the more efficient work, and the organization's success will be increased such a in such an environment.
Interesting points. Yes, guys, uh, think, think about these things. One more clip I think I want to show you before I take your points on these three clips, which we are watching. Pay attention to this and please get ready.
I want to share a story with you today about a change process that I underwent when I was a manager at a large government organisation in Melbourne. The department I worked for was about to merge with another department, and that meant that some of the staff were going to either be reallocated work roles, or they would have to move positions in the office. And it reminds me of one of my staff, Vivian, who had been employed in the agency for some 15 years. When the change process was announced, I noticed that Vivian became visibly shaken and very nervous at what the future held. And I remember talking to her and asking her what her concerns were. And she said to me that change had happened in the department before, that what hadn't been well managed, and that she felt that because of the change, she would have to move desks. It was a big issue for Vivian, but it wasn't a big issue for me until I thought about it. Vivian's desk looked like the bedroom of a 16-year-old. There was teddy bears over there, flowers, souvenirs from holidays, and tins of biscuits. To move her from a desk would nearly require the services of a removalist. So I said to her that I would try and keep her in the same desk as much as possible, but as for work roles, any work roles, she would be reskilled. So I set about trying to create a platform where I actually instilled trust into Vivian. So Vivian trusted me to manage her concerns. Now, most people think trust is a word about somebody believing in you or doing the right thing by you, but actually trust has 5 elements. In trust, there's integrity, openness, competence, consistency, and empathy. And I want to focus on the word consistency today. In a change process, there needs to be a consistent message, that the same message gets given to all the staff, that it's actually not diluted in any way, that they all understand the reasons for the change and it allays any fears. I had a number of meetings with Vivian, and every time we had the meeting, which was every second day, I made sure that I continued to build the trust element in Vivian, that I could manage the change and lower her resistance to the change by giving her consistent messages. At the end of the change, she was very happy. We only had to move it 20 metres. We didn't have to get the removalists in, and we all lived happily ever after. So the moral to the story is, if you're a manager, build those elements of trust in your staff, of integrity in yourself, consistency, the competence and empathy to try and understand the other issues facing people about to undergo a change process.
Let's now think about this, how challenging all of this this can be now, because on one hand, in this clip we are talking about consistency. It reduces fear of change, of course, and you guys have mentioned some pointers about fear uh, today in your pointers earlier. So on one hand, we want to talk about consistency, and on other hand, we want to talk about flexibility in change plans and so on. So think about this interesting dilemma, that you have to be, your message should be consistent, but then you have to have some flexibility on the plan of action, looking at the requirement of your workers, your colleagues, because humans are emotional. They have emotions. They have, I should not say emotional. They have emotions. So from that angle, this is quite interesting. So that one hand, consistency, and the other, on the other hand, flexibility. In this clip, they mentioned a couple of characteristics of good leadership. Maybe I think trust is one of them. Ability to have trustworthy relationship. We were talking about it yesterday also, and we were saying that if there is no trust, then there is nothing left. When trust is gone, everything is gone. Yeah, those type of comments we made. So build trust. So for that, he gave couple of pointers. Openness, I think. So those your examples, I think they um, directly and indirectly they made this point that leaders who are able to bring some type of change, they are open to new ideas, open to innovation, open to criticism, not thinking, their mindset is different. They don't think that they know everything, uh, but still they show confidence. So again, this is a dilemma, that you have to show confidence, but then you have to say that you don't know everything. How that is going to work? Yeah, so we try to have that type of atmosphere in our sessions also, that I'm trying to demonstrate some confidence, that okay, I know what I'm talking about, but same way I am learning from, open to your points. I'm learning from your points, the way you think. And you saw in the conversation that people think differently. Um, on the just that last clip we discussed, there were different point of views on that. So openness, you have to develop that characteristic in yourself. And think about it, if we are, sometimes we don't like to be wrong, proved wrong, and it makes sense also. It will be embarrassing if I make a point and later on it is proved that it is wrong. But personally speaking, not for me. Let me be very honest about that. So yeah, if I make a comment and it is wrong, and you tell me, well, that is not what it is, and the book says otherwise, I'm gonna laugh about it and say, yes, thanks for pointing it out. I'm going to read it over and correct myself. What is the big deal in that? Why one wants to say that I am always right, I know everything? Why that need is going to come? There, you have to, now that is very, like, it depends on the personality of people, and people are different. And of course, in some situations I don't like it. With you guys, I'm different. With some other people, I can react very differently if they say that what I'm saying is not making sense. So it depends. It really depends on so many things. But gradually, step by step, try to see what, if you can inculcate these type of habits in yourself slowly over a period of time. It's lifelong type of thing. Competency they spoke about in this clip, and I really loved it, because the competency, knowing, you have to know your field. There is no other way around it. Whatever your profession is, whatever you are trying to do, at least that thing you have to really know it, and know it well. Because the more you will have command on that, on your subject matter, it is automatically you will sound confident, because you have read on it, you are in touch with it, you keep on reading articles on it, you are attending new material, what is the new material published. So, and what that would do, from, because we are trying to discuss leadership and how leaders impact change. So when you have that type of confidence, which is coming from your competence, so confidence coming from competence, um, it would be very helpful in change situation as a leader. But again, this competence you develop over a period of of time. So again, this is a dilemma that you have competence in your field, and once you have competence in your field, in other words, when that you are like you have good knowledge in the field, when you have good knowledge in the field, how are you going to listen to other people's point of view who maybe are not as well read as you are? Why? How they are going to, how you are going to do that? Think about yourself. Are you in, think about any area, not just business, even whatever, you know about something and a little child comes and try to tell you something. Oh, I think this is how it is. Or do you pay attention to the child? You are present in the moment, try to understand from the point of view what the child is trying to say, or a person who is less knowledgeable than you, what they are trying to say, or you just say, well, I know what it is, I know what it is. Yeah. So this is, I think, something which you would want to think about. Consistency, they were talking about that, and empathy. I think empathy, those things are very important. But now look all of this from that clip which we watched, the guy and girl. Yeah. So yeah, all those things now in the real world, when you have deadlines to meet, when change needs to happen, when the files need to move on the second floor, and the things need to be rearranged, then how you are going to find all of these things? Yeah. And when we are concluding the course, and the way we are going to conclude the course, I think at that point I hope that you will find some answers to these type of questions also, and you will be able to link it with the purpose of reflection, which is your exercise at the end of every class. Yes, my friend, I was missing you from long. Please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I just would like to put something about humanocracy, because the in today's world, in every organization there is bureaucracy. So Gary Camel, an author, he came up with an idea of humanocracy, where in bureaucracy, like, human beings are instruments. They are the resource created by organization to make profit. But this guy came up with an idea, like, in humanocracy, organization is instrument, where staffs or the people, they use organization as the vehicle to serve the better life. So I just want, if to change something in the organization, we have to, come up with this kind of things of like humanocracy, because bureaucracy, in my personal opinion, bureaucracy is very, I don't like it, in my personal opinion.
So what would happen in the humancracy? What are the characteristics of that? If you can share those with us.
I don't have gone very deep into it, but I just know a very little about humanocracy. It's just about like people will be given a more freedom, and then so that the work will be more effective and the productive. So it's kind of where peoples will be used. I mean, like in humanocracy, organization is used as an instrument.
Interesting. Very interesting. These are very important things. Now, this is a big dilemma in all of this conversation. Like, for change to materialize, you have to think about, for example, humancracy and empathy, and give people time to change and adjust to the new routine, explain them why we are doing it, all of those things. But in real life, How think if you will have to explain everything, like you are doing something and you will have to explain it, this is why we are doing it, how much taxing it will be, how much difficult whole process would be. And many times in our own personal lives also, we like people who we don't have to explain, like our friends. Do we really have to explain our friends? Like I am with my friend, you are with your friend, and you say, let's go, and the friend just starts walking with you. He's not there. Where are we going? When are we? How are we going to reach there? What time we are going to come back? All of those things. He's not asking. You say, let's go. He say, let's go. And in the way, he's going to say, okay, where are we going? And you say, I don't feel like talking right now. Just be quiet. And he's quiet there, and he's just with you. You don't have to explain to them that, okay. And you are there at your home, and you want your friend to come over, and you just call them and you say, come over. And friend don't say, why, what happened, why should I come now, this that I cannot come, this is the problem. He say, yes, I'm on my way, man, I'm coming 5 minutes, and phone is over. Yeah, so what is that? So on one hand is explaining and communication is important, but think about how we communicate with our friends. They understand us, understanding, the development of understanding. So that type of understanding needs to be created in that. It's an ambition, it's an ambition. It's difficult to materialize it, but if you can create that type of culture environment in the organization where that trust factor is, where a little bit of a of course it is work, but little type of friendship is also there. It would be nice, but then the problem is that when you have a little type of friendship there, then sometimes people take advantage in work settings. They might delay the deadline, so that is why sometimes people have to be strict in their atmosphere and so on. Have you had some lecturers or people who facilitate class who are very strict, and unnecessarily they are just pissing your life off, and they are saying, oh, why you said that, or this, why that happened? Why is that? Why are they doing that? Because of they want to, they are thinking that if they will not do that, you will get out of control and you will do things which which you should not do, maybe. So they are trying to control, like from that fear factor, or being angry, or not smiling, or being serious all the time. You must have seen, this is very challenging. Now, what is the answer of all of this? It's very difficult. It's quite difficult. It's not easy to really do it. These things are possible, but over a period of time, like, and then you have to be very selective, and your HR, human resource, need to find the right people who are going to fit in the organizational culture. You have to find the right type of leader for change, who has these type of maybe skills. But then again, I'll just repeat, because it is important. I think again, it's a circle. You come back there, because in the business is there to make money at the end of the day, generally speaking. If it is not for profit, then it is different, but other businesses, they are there for make money. And and it is, the competition is ruthless. Competition is ruthless. If you will not act first or act quickly, then your competition is going to act quickly and make the product or service and launch it, and the customers are gone with that product, service, that competition. So time is also. So on one hand, change requires time. On the other hand, corporate businesses, generally speaking, don't have time. So then now you will think about different cultures. What is the culture of business in Hong Kong? What is the culture in Jamaica? What is the culture in Finland, Germany, and so on? So those type of things we will try to touch them in next week in international business management. Yes, Vinod, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
No, that's it actually.
Please post the link of the book or the material which you are looking at, Humancracy.
Sure.
So people can read it if they are interested. Thanks, Vinod.
Thank you so much.
So Sumaya, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to add my thoughts on what a good leader actually is, in my opinion. I feel like for
Sumaya,
a good
please
leader, it's
speak
actually
louder.
really
Bring
important to
the
know.
bring the mic closer to yourself and speak into it.
Okay, can you hear me right now?
We can hear you, but it is coming very slow and soft. So that is why
Okay.
maybe speak a little bit louder and closer. Bring the device closer to yourself. Yes.
Okay, can you hear
And
me
this
right now?
beautiful, beautiful.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I actually wanted to add my thoughts on what is, in my opinion, actually a good leader. I feel
Yeah.
like for a good leader, it's important for him to know which direction to go. So
Mhm.
otherwise, he will actually lead. Otherwise, he will just lead the organization in circles because nobody knows what to do. So then the team will obviously resist because there is for them like there is a lack of clarity. They don't understand anything. It's just unclear for them. And I feel like sometimes we come across failure, and
Mm.
a leader should see failure actually as a source of learning because you learn from your faults, you learn from them. It's actually like it's actually an experience. So if you look back, you can say like you can learn something from it. And I also feel like a leader should show that he cares because people will feel people will feel like they're important. If you show you care about them, they will feel like, okay, this one knows me or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, I also feel like a leader, sometimes leaders have the mindset that they know everything, what you already said
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
a
Mhm.
few
Good
months
point.
ago.
Mhm.
And I feel like he needs to he doesn't need to teach them, but he needs to share. So he needs to share his knowledge. And I feel like when you share your knowledge and you let other people also share their knowledge, um, it's it's just like being open-minded. So just sharing your knowledge, experience, and just your way of thinking, because other people may have better ideas, may have better opinions. So that's what I want to say. And also, I feel like a leader should also have like the belief that everything can be made better. So um,
Mm.
like he needs to we all I feel like he needs to achieve like he needs to strive towards perfection, but obviously like
Mm.
perfection cannot be achieved, but just working towards it, because then you will see
Mm.
like continuous change. And I also feel like he should be genuine, because many leaders have like the mentality that they always say like we have to do it the same way. So if you
Mm.
come up and you want to have a change in something, then they don't want it because they feel like they don't want to risk it. So they say like we should do it the same way because this is how we have thought. So this is how we have thought it, or this is like how we've done it. And so I feel like we should be open-minded towards change. And I
Mm.
also feel like the last thing I want to say is about communication.
Mhm.
I feel like
Mhm.
if we communication is like the key to involving other people, and other people will also trust us if we involve them in to having a dialogue with other people and not jumping to conclusions, just asking why and all those questions. I feel like that's a good leader in my opinion. Yeah, so
Mm.
that's what
Very
that's what I
interesting.
want to say. Yeah.
Very interesting. Thanks very much. We appreciate your pointers. Very thorough and good definition there. Sumaya, which country your roots are from? Which country you are coming from? Your
I'm from
roots.
Holland.
But from before which country your parents and maybe
Oh,
your
my ethnicity is Moroccan.
Morocco?
Yes.
Okay, okay, nice, nice. Good to have you. So my question here is to Sumaya and other friends, anyone who can take it. I want to just understand, like Sumaya made very interesting points. For example, I'm just going to talk about two maybe. So one, she's saying that caring, and this caring attitude, yeah, care. So what you can think about, what people do when they care. Maybe they listen, they empathize, they give time. Essentially, it's a time caring, yeah. And share knowledge. How what it takes to share knowledge. It takes a lot of patience, because sometimes people would not agree with your knowledge, because you learned it that way. Maybe they are not going to learn it that way. It takes time, yeah. So share knowledge is going to take time, yeah. That is that is going to happen. So in the world, in the business world, when everything is so rushed and we have to meet deadlines, how to show care and share knowledge when there are so many other deadlines, and it is not just one worker you have a lot of workers in the department you are leading. How to give them time to show that you care and you share knowledge. And also failure, that is good point. Failure, you learn from failures, but then you have a boss. So if you fail, like if you fail the course and you tell your parents, oh, I failed, uh, well, they say, what are they going to say? They are going to be happy about it, and you are going to say, oh, I learned some things. I failed, but yes, but I learned things. Learning, more focus. So what will parents say? Same thing in the companies. You have your targets you have to meet. So failure, yes, we learn from failures, and I myself have said it multiple times, and I support the idea. But in the real world, these things are quite challenging. So I'm asking you guys to reflect on this and share your thoughts that in the world, which is very time pressed, deadlines to meet, how to show that you care and you share knowledge, which is going to take time. When it is all about profits, how to say that I failed, but I will learn from my failure. Yeah. So anyone who can say a couple of things on that, that would be nice. Yes, Dwayne, you are raising your hands before this, so please say whatever you are trying to comment.
Hi there. So you asked shows that he cares and talk. I'm going to share, and I shared it with you. I didn't think much leadership. Like it was my first chance to be. I wasn't sure I could pull it off. And one of the tricks I added to my is sort of the bosses didn't. I wasn't a big fan of the things that the ways they treated me that I wouldn't, and then I decided I wouldn't treat same way. Right, and myself too. Like it is one thing to ask that thing, but it was another to prove that you could. So the perfect opportunity came actually two opportunities. First, the person I was working with, and I was furious because it was just a lot of work. It was something important. And when I went to talk to him, the other people in the room, and at that point it seemed care, or he didn't seriousness of the situation. I got even more furious. I thought to myself, one of the things I don't like when people do to me to express how this, but it didn't have to be in a room full of other people embarrassed. And so I went to him after, right? And I think that's when we were talking. He said how we treated him with that respect. And was when he was doing some work, he made a mistake that could cost us at the base of the whole, a very important database. And when he came to me and told me that happened, I remembered the times when I made a mistake, and I said, I thought to myself, already screaming about it isn't going. And then I remember the times when I told him not to worry, and we both thought of it, and we fixed it. yeah, it's through these experiences, and that's how I'm slowly improving my leadership skills. And that's what I wanted to share. What you said about care and with me, because through my experiences and I watch out for things that leaders that I wouldn't want to repeat to people that
Excellent.
is it my voice that's the robot voice in the chat?
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, excellent points. Excellent points. Thanks for sharing them. And our friend is talking about the how he is maybe learning from the type of leaders he had or he have. He's seeing what are the things maybe are not very suitable to him. He does not like them, and he's ensuring that he does not become like them maybe. It's a very good pointers, and he shared his thoughts about he's angry, he's furious on some situations there, and how learning over a period of time. uh, Very interesting. Very. Any other comments on what we were trying to say? But even if no clear answer is there coming in your mind, nothing to really worry about. Just keep on thinking about these things. Like these are dilemmas in the in the conversation of change management, because on one hand change will take time, effort, energy. It will drain you out on a longer period of time. A sustained change, unless it is a forced change coming from fear or power, if it is not that, then it is going to take some amount of time. So think about these things. Couple of more things I would like to um, show you. Um for example, yes, someone want to say something? Please go ahead. Okay, this one is very interesting. We are still on the topic of leading change, and we would like to conclude it today before we close. So keep on thinking about this, and I hope you will also make your list just like Sumaya made her list. Maybe you don't want to share it with everyone. That is fine. But you should develop some list like Sumaya did, and she presented her list. Very good points she made there. Uh, for example, look at this article, Managing Change One Day at a Time. Leaders trying to transform company culture can learn from an unexpected source, addiction treatment programs. Yeah, so addiction when you have addiction, when you have some type of addiction, there are treatment programs. So it's a very nice article that leaders trying to transform company culture, they can learn a couple of things from addiction treatment programs. And what are those things? I would like to touch on a couple of them. For example, look at this one. Nothing happens without a readiness to change. Nothing happens without a readiness to change. So um, first thing, make people ready. Even if it is self change, self development, continuous improvement of self, then first make yourself ready for the change. Whatever you need to do mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, financially, whatever it is, make yourself ready. Uh, how to make yourself ready? Think about what are some of the challenges which you are going to face. Ask other people who have gone through similar type of changes. What are the problems they had? Um, expect those problems that they can come on your side also, and try to have a little plan, not a final plan, a little plan which you are flexible to change, of course, in your way. What are some of the things in your plan? How you are going to deal with those issues which might happen? So that readiness to change, even if it is a culture, you make them ready. And different techniques you are going to use to make them ready. It is important to replace old habits with new ones. Very interesting point. Very interesting point. Yeah, reflect on that. Peer support and pressure drives change. Peer support. That's why very important to have good relationships with your with your peers, your colleagues. Very important because they are going to be source of your energy. Also, they are going to maybe motivate you many times. So you have to be selective about your peers, your friends. As a matter of fact, let me say that in your life, if you have people around you, whoever they are, your friends, your closed ones, if they are giving you negative type of energy, try to be mindful about that. Of course, maybe you cannot uh, change them, but try to minimize your dialogue maybe with those type of people as much as possible. In other words, be mindful about your thoughts, your mindset. Yeah, your thoughts, your mindset. What are you feeding in? Because it is like input output model we saw the other day, one of the change models, input output model. Yeah, whatever you are going to put in your mind, it is going to impact your output. So be mindful about that. um, Sponsorship deepens commitment and sparks result. Community without hierarchy is a catalyst for change. Yeah, you are the company you keep. Very important. You are the company you keep. It pays to acknowledge small wins. I think you guys have mentioned that. I think yesterday. That is important point. But then don't like celebrate like your success, final success, and become complacent after that, and you are not looking at the next step you need to take. Of course, but still a little bit of acknowledgement is important. Continuous introspection is the key. Continuous introspection, always looking within, like, okay, which areas I can improve. I dealt with that situation, how I can deal with it differently next time. Those introspections are important. Just like we watched that clip of a man and girl, man and woman, and we just try to reflect, if we were in their situation, how would do we do things differently, or how could they do things differently. Those type of things are, I think, important. Changes in practice may represent breakthroughs. Very good. And this is, I think, very good. The goal is progress, not perfection. And if you were listening to the comments made, I think a couple of friends made, 2 3 friends made this comment, but in different words. For example, Sumaya was talking about it, like, you everything can be made better, and you are working towards making it better, not perfect, but just to improve. Yes, those type of comments Sumaya just made a while ago. The goal is progress, not perfection. I think that should be the spirit for all of us. Whatever things we learned about change management in our short interaction, now the job is to, it's to learn more on these things and try to improve. Like, first understand yourself, what how you manage change. I think that is important. Different type of changes, how you manage them, and then work on the things which maybe you are not very good at right now, but you will improve. And the goal is progress. The goal is not never perfection. Always see that you are improving a little bit more. Those type of sentiments. This article I really liked. We have been talking about motivation, and as we are talking about leaders' role in change management, there is no way that we cannot talk about motivation and talk about role of leaders. And with motivation, it is that, you know, there's different type of people you're going to find in your life and in the organization. Some people are already motivated, they are clear about their purpose, they are driven, they are career oriented, or whatever whatever their ambition is, they know what they want, so they are already motivated. But then there are other people who are maybe good people, but they need a little bit of a push, a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of good words, so you can maybe use those with them. But then there are other type of people who, I'm sure you have seen them in your life and at work and in school. They are problem people, always trying to identify some problem with everything, anything. Yeah. So um, and they are going to just, you know, create some type of issue in what, no matter what you are going to do, and they are going to be there in all different type of setting. So this article I found for you guys, please read it in your own time. Very interesting article, because people who are already motivated, they don't need you. People who want a little bit of a encouragement and a little bit of a push, and they will be motivated with some talks, with some, you know, some good words, with some praise. You can motivate them, yes. But how to deal with these problem people who are trying to create some type of resistance in your change efforts, who are trying to, you know, find a way to sabotage your plans of change as a leader or as a worker in a company or in your private personal life. So this type of material, this article gives you some tips, and you should like read more on this type of thing. Like, so the point, the idea is that don't just disregard people that, oh, this person is not going to understand, these are problematic people, so let me just discard them. Before you discard them, just like we saw yesterday in the Resistance to Change clips, that Professor Cotter says that, who is the leading person in this field, he said that there are going to be some people who are going to remain problematic. You can get rid of them because they will never understand. But before you disregard them, when you will read the details of how Professor Potter explained it, so he's not just saying that disregard them and take them out. No, before that, do a little bit of a work. Try to see how you can maybe motivate them, encourage them, bring them on your side by whatever means. If that is possible, you should do that. And after that, you can decide that how much energy uh, they are going to take from you, and then you can decide how much energy you are and time, how much time you are willing to give them, and so on. From there you can decide. This is a very nice piece I found for you guys. Now you need to look for these type of guides, change management leadership guides. So you are in some type of leading role, and company is going through change. So what are some of the things you should pay attention to? These type of guides, run a Google search on, instead of books, guides, something like this. It's like 30 page, of course we cannot go through all of it, but let's see what are the things they are talking about. Like, see, their effective vision. Yeah, so effective vision is going to be important. Effective vision, you know, the vision, objective, goal, purpose, strategy. How, remember we were looking at it, that why is is important, but how is equally uh, equally important. uh, that how you are going to do something, how you are going to bring change, that is equally important. Just like you will make people understand why the change is required from them. So that how is going to be the strategy. Then of course there are always going to be obstacles. would want to be mindful about that. The leadership style, you would want to think about that. I purposefully did not go into that in more detail. For example, some people are dictators when they are leading. Some people are like they like to talk and take different points of view, engage that leadership style. And you can look at different types of leadership style, even from your life, you can reflect on that. And other things, you can quickly scan through that. Change management models, for example, they are going to, you would need to have some type of understanding of models when you are trying to lead some type of change. And we have gone through, like, I think more than 10 models so far. Different type of models, or around 10, something like that. And there are more models in the book. If you are interested, you can look into that and look at this, the how important this 8 step is, how important is these 8 steps are in all different type of change management situations. We just looked at them in the start of the session. Cotter's 8 step: increase urgency, build a guiding team, get the vision right, communicate for buy-in, empower action, create short-term wins, don't let up, change stick, make it immersed in the organizational setting, and so on. And see what are the other things they would be talking about in these type of guides, like for example, managing the emotions in the change. And you would recall that even from the beginning of our interaction, some friends were making some comments. Like, I remember Melissa was making some comment on emotions, like, emotions, when emotions are involved, change becomes even harder than what it is. And then they have given some tools, techniques here and we went through this one. So phase 1, I hope you remember this model. Phase 1 would be ending, losing, letting go. Then you go in the neutral zone, and then you start the new beginning. We looked at this model, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. Yeah, ending, letting go, ending, phase 1. Then neutral zone, you are thinking, reflecting of what mistakes you made, maybe all of those things. And then you are starting new beginnings. You are a new person now. Yeah. And then of course you can always, we were saying that from phase 3 you might fall back into phase 1 if you were unable to really end properly. So it's, and then every stage should be given some time to do the requirements of that stage, to complete, fulfill the requirements of that stage. So time is, I think, one thing which we which is, I think, have been coming throughout the throughout the throughout the 4 days. Any thoughts, any comments on the things which we spoke about before we finalize our today's session? I think, any thoughts, any pointers? We looked at culture, for example. We were talking about culture, organizational culture, organizational setting, communication. We spoke about that a little bit. Leading style, leadership role. We spoke about that briefly. We touched on that. Culture, yeah. These are some of the things which we highlighted. What is coming to your mind now? Please share that. If maybe 5-6 friends can maybe share their thoughts, that would be nice. Yes, please go ahead.
Right. I was thinking also of some criteria that makes a good leader. So I may add like a couple of points to what Sumaya shared. From my point of view, that a leader being self-aware, that he knows his strengths and weaknesses, and he knows how to make use of them and works on his area of development. It's a very important thing. Also, a leader has to be focused, goal-oriented, so that he won't get lost in time of chaos, and he has like a strong vision that it's clear to everyone. Also, he needs to be like emotionally stable, so also in the time of emergencies, not get stressed or panic, because that will affect his team, obviously. Furthermore, like it will be beneficial to be people-oriented, so that he can get the best of his team, and he knows how to allocate and assign proper tasks for them. And part of responsibility also, in order like everyone of the team feels responsible, it's a leader duty to create a safe environment that encourage everyone to have some sort of ownership of their work, so that if they made some mistake or if they made something wrong, they are responsible for it because they are part of the team. So, yeah, that was the points I was thinking of.
Excellent point you are thinking and adding to the discussion. Like emotionally stable, for example, we did not really touch on that, how important that can be, and we did spoke about vision and those things, but the way you are talking about it is very interesting, because you are saying that there will be chaos, there will be things up and down coming in the organization, different personalities, different people. So in all of that chaos, to have that, to maintain that strong vision, that you have to be very clear on where you want to go. Some other friends also spoke about, I think Sumaya also spoke about the clarity of direction. That is very important. Excellent points, Mina, excellent points. So think about this. If these things are true, then how important it is self-reflection, spending time with yourself, trying to first understand where do you want to go, where do you want to, because that clarity of purpose for yourself, individually speaking, think about it, how important that is. That is going to be wherever you would want to reach, because the difficulties are going to, challenges, opportunities of growth or problems are going to come in every path. So if you have that clarity of vision, where you see yourself, that thing is, I think what Mina is saying is very important. Now it can be for the organization. If it is organizational change, then the organization, the leader should be very clear. People in the organization, they should be very clear. But then it will go back to that same challenge now, that it would require time. Yeah, it would require time. So that takes me to this point which I mentioned in, I think, the first session. I mentioned it, and I want to go back to that point, reiterate that point. That one thing is changing other people, changing them for your requirement in your private personal life, romantic relationships, or at work, changing your colleagues, whatever, changing others. And now you should have realized by the end of day 4 that changing someone is a considerable, it's going to take considerable amount of effort and energy, and it's going to really tire you up. And there is no guarantee that the other person is going to change also at the end of the day. So all the efforts can go in the drain, or there is no return as you are thinking about it. So this change thing is quite so in that, if that is true, that it's going to take a lot of effort, then why to bother change other people? Yeah, why to bother change other people? Yeah, why to direct them, why to give them direction? It's a very interesting question to reflect on. And I asked this question from my mentor, that this is very troubling, that change, all of this thing, why should I go through all of this trouble when there is no guarantee? And so the way he explained me, I can share it to you, and it makes sense. I think it is a good response. He told me that if you are successful in that process, the type of relationship you are going to make with those people is going to be phenomenal. And you will be able to make that relationship because you showed empathy, you cared for them, You gave them time to develop themselves, so they saw all those things and then they changed. So that relationship which you made with them through this difficult journey, that is going to be very useful. Now it is up to you where you want to spend your energy. uh, uh, and then, when you link it with yesterday's conversation also, that when you are changing one attribute in a person, it is not just that one attribute which is going to change. You are going to change all other attributes, or it will have some impact on all the other attributes which you might have liked. So in that scheme of thing, when there are so many complications in change management, and this is the point I made in the, I think, the first session, if I can recall, that you find the right fit. Find the right fit. Yeah? Instead of trying to make so many changes here and there, if you have the right fit, at least in the 3, 4, 5 main things, you still have to change yourself. You will, the other person will still have to change themselves, don't take me wrong, but 3, 4, 5 major things, for yourself, if it is personal relationship, for the company, whatever the 4, 5 things important for the company, those things should if you have to change those things also, I personally feel that it's going to be a little too much. But everything is possible. Different people have different way of dealing with situations. If you think that you can manage that type of activity, please go ahead. If you think that you can show that type of love and affection to your followers when you are in the leadership role, please go ahead, do that. But these are some of the thoughts which I wanted to share with you. Couple of friends were raising their hands. Please go ahead and make comments. Uh, don't look at the time. Please make comments.
I think changing in leadership is very important. For example, I remember that Nokia was very big thing for Finland, and when they were developing this Android environment, and Nokia did not join there because of their leadership. They wanted to be separate from Android ecosystem, but then
Yes.
the single choice that was destroyed them, and then later on also they joined Microsoft, and I think it was very big thing for Finland, and the fall of Nokia is like, we have to learn from it that leadership can change a company from big to nothing, like this kind of.
Very interesting. And Nokia is one company I think our friends should read about the company. Yes, anyone else? Please make some points. What are you taking away from today's session? Anything you have to add to whatever we have been discussing? Any pointer overall for the last 4 days which you think we should have discussed in in these 4 days? What is that point? If you can mention that point. Change management. Yeah. I have 2 separate internship experience. In one of them, the woman would ask me all the questions by email. It was like holding something as evidence. I was extremely disturbed. However, the other one had a desk set up in his room during my internship so that I could ask my questions comfortably and ensured that I was with him all the time. It was very effective. We had a strong communication and I learned a lot. Yeah, very interesting points there. Yeah. Very interesting. So this change is quite, so before you go into any type of change activity, I think uh, get yourself ready. Before that, ask yourself, are you ready for that change or not? If not, first get yourself ready and try to anticipate what type of challenges you are going to face, and so on, and get ready for them. Change is possible. People do make changes, a lot of changes in their personal life, at work, and so on. But it requires a lot of preparation. That preparation, I think, is important. And always remember that we cannot do it alone. We want others' support in managing change also. That type of coalition, that type of support from other people, I think that is also very important. Yeah.
You think you've got the time to figure it out? Life will pass you by. Your time is running out. Oh yeah. You're haunted by your troubles every day. Wasting smiles away. What's there left to say? You gotta make believe and make your dreams come true. It ain't that hard to do. Whoa, I can't change the world alone. I need you all, everybody. Start dreaming of it. Take a step that's gonna make a difference and change your world. 'Cause I can't change the world alone. I need you all, everybody. Start dreaming of it. Take a step that's gonna make a difference and change your world. Strangers' faces that you just wanna hide. Won't you turn the tide? A smile can change it all. You gotta make believe and make your dreams come true. It ain't that hard to do. Whoa, 'cause I can't change the world alone. I need you all, everybody. Start dreaming of it. Take a step that's gonna make a difference and change your world. You gotta make believe, make your dreams come true. It ain't that hard to do. Oh, I can't change the world alone. I need you all, everybody. Start dreaming of it. Take a step that's gonna make a difference and change the world. 'Cause I can't change the world alone. I need you all, everybody. Take a step and make a difference and change the world. 'Cause I can't change the world alone. I need you all, oh everybody. Take a step that's gonna make a difference and change your world.
Okay, class.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your night.